We have people in the Trump administration, including Donald Trump himself and the Commerce Secretary, who don't understand immigration policy. They don't understand how it works. They don't understand how the H-1B foreign skilled workers visa program works. They don't understand its contribution to the American economy. They got it all upside down and ass backwards, which is why when they're sitting there grinning in the White House, and I'll show you the clip, celebrating their whole total overhaul or a redo of the immigration policies in America by charging $100,000 instead of the $5,000 for businesses to get H-1B visas, to get foreign workers here in order to expand their operations in the United States, in order to employ more Americans and bring those H-1B people here who are consumers with dollars of their own that spend money in the American economy. When you effectively destroy the H-1B program, keeping foreign skilled workers out of America, then companies like the South Korean Hyundai don't build batteries in Georgia, employing everybody else that is a native-born American to do that work. They don't bother building or expanding because they don't have the talent to do it. We need STEM workers here, science, technology, engineering, and math, and we don't have it native-born. And so we need these workers here. Donald Trump just said, sure, you can bring him, but it's $100,000 a worker. You know how much that worker would have to produce economically for a company to go, sure, we'll spend $100,000 on that guy because we'll make what? What will they make per employee, right? The 300 or so South Koreans that came here to Georgia to build a battery plant for Hyundai came here because we don't have battery plant technology construction knowledge here in the United States enough to do it that way. Can you imagine paying each one of those guys $100,000 for the fee to get them here to build the battery plant? So he just killed the H-1B program because he doesn't understand it. And then he's sitting there grinning in the White House. I got a better idea. We're going to set up a visa program like it's some sort of credit card. We're going to have a gold and a platinum. Gold is $1 million. And you can come for $1 million. You can come to this country and buy your way in. For $5 million, you can come to this country 270 out of 365 days, and you don't have to pay any taxes on your non-U.S. income, your non-U.S. income. And $2 million visa available, $2 million per employee. What companies are coming here to pay that entry fee? They're not even legal because you can't charge such a fee that's well over the cost of operating the program. That's what Congress just got through saying. I'm Michael Popok. You're here on Sunday morning. We must be talking about Donald Trump screwing up some economic model. Only on Legal AF. Take a minute, hit the free subscribe button. All right, let's start from the scratch. Neither Donald Trump nor Howard Lutnick ever ran a business that relied on H-1B visa people to operate their business. Howard Lutnick ran Cantor Fitzgerald and all of its affiliates in the financial services industry. Right? He employed primarily Americans. He didn't need to bring in technologists and highly skilled workers foreign in order to sit them behind trading desks. So he never had any affiliation with immigrants coming in that way. If he had immigrants, he had them in his operations overseas. Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, family-owned business, no immigrants there. That didn't need any immigrants, probably had illegal immigrants like he used to have at Mar-a-Lago before he ran for president, operating some of his businesses and probably on some of his construction sites, but he didn't need to use the H-1B visa. I defy anybody in the Trump administration to tell me one H-1B visa that Donald Trump had to support or have in order to operate his business before he became president. Howard Lutnick, the same. I'm waiting. Okay, so they don't understand it. And they don't understand the math or the underpinnings of the H-1B program. The reason we want the H-1B program, the reason H-1B doesn't take away jobs from America, which is what the White House tells you. We're going to be bringing in $100 billion into the Treasury. No, you're not, because businesses aren't going to participate in the H-1B program at that price point. You just killed it, which means you just killed business in America. So Hyundai doesn't come here and build a plant. And Hyundai doesn't employ Americans around that plant. And those guys or women that are here building that plant, they don't stay in America for an extended period of time. And they don't spend money in that part of Georgia. And so business doesn't flow to those companies in Georgia. And so they don't need to hire new employees. You see how this works? Let me play you the clip of the crocodile grinning, whatever that, I don't know what I'm even saying. Let me show you the clip of Howard Lutnick and Donald Trump grinning about destroying our immigration and foreign skilled worker program, which will ultimately have a negative impact on the economy. That's all they do is negative impact on the economy, making Americans suffer. Let's watch the clip.
This is supposed to allow highly skilled laborers who work in fields that Americans don't work in to come into the United States of America. What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers. So it'll protect American workers, but ensure that companies have a pathway to hire truly extraordinary people and bring them to the United States.
We need workers. We need workers. We need great workers. And this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, you agree with it?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000. Then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land, train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here. $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it. Go ahead, Sean.
Mr. President, it seems like there's two categories of visa programs. H-1B is likely to escape American jobs, and then the gold card and programs like EB-5 that add value and jobs to America. Is that sort of how you look at the visa program?
Well, ideally, look, if somebody's got the people, they're not going to want to spend $100,000 as an example in your second category. So it's not taking jobs. And we need certain jobs. We need certain skill jobs that we don't have.
So the fundamentals that they don't understand is that if you don't allow in, if a company can't get their hands on qualified, skilled foreign workers under the H-1B program, then they don't expand their operation in the United States. They don't build their operation in the United States. They don't come to the United States. And if they don't do all of those things, they don't have jobs for Americans, for native born. If you're focused on, we want to get native born Americans in order to do those jobs. Well, they're not going to do those jobs because they don't have the skill set. We can't build data centers fast enough to support artificial intelligence because they take a lot of power. And for power, you need an electrician, and we don't have enough electricians. And Donald Trump's not going to fix that problem between now and the midterms or now in 2028. He wants to take money out of, first of all, he wants to kill major universities and their research centers like Harvard. And they're the ones that train up the master's and PhD applicants that eventually can come back into the United States to be H-1B visa recipients. That's the feeder program. They go to major U.S. research universities. They get their master's or PhD. They go back to their home countries, but they may come back with their skill set through the H-1B portal. Donald Trump just killed it. And now those companies aren't building the data center, the battery center, the tech service, the financial services company. They're not, they go, we'd like to get bigger, but we're short 20 skilled workers that we can't get. We've looked at all the resumes. The Americans don't have it. Now, if we opened shop or expanded the subsidiary or built the building, the factory, the business, then we could employ Americans to do the jobs that they're qualified to do, whatever that is. You know, the different skill sets for the foreign worker, H-1B, and the American worker, right? And so that's totally missed by Trump and Lutnick. And then you have if the business is up and running, it's pumping money into the local economy because its workers need lunch and dinner and dry cleaning and, their nails and hair done at a break, right? They need to go to a gym if they can. And then they need to go to an urgent care center. And that all percolates through the local economy, now destroyed by Donald Trump. He just says, when all those H-1B visa money comes in, it's found money. It's not found money. It's not going to come in. First of all, it's illegal. And when the challenges by immigration rights groups come in and business groups, this is anti-business. Once again, I'm doing a video about MAGA being against business. Whatever happened to the good old-fashioned country club Republican that was all about business? What's good for General Motors is good for the rest of the country. Where are they? Donald Trump's busy taking over businesses like he's a Maoist, like he's a Marxist, okay? He's a communist. Let's take over capital. What's that sound like? Sounds a lot like communism. And so he doesn't understand the fundamentals. The money's not going to come in. It's illegal. Federal law says that the rate of the fee has to match the cost. $100,000, $5 million, $1 million. And now you can come live in America if you're a millionaire across, in somewhere like in Russia or in Europe or Mexico. You can just stroke a check for $5 million and you get a golden visa or a platinum visa, whatever it's called. And you can live here for 270 days, but no tax on your non-US income. So what are you going to do? You're just going to vacation? That's going to pump a lot of money in? 100 people coming in at $5 million a clip? I really don't understand this whole math. I just don't. They think billions are going to come in. I don't see it that way. And notice that none of the other economists do either. The killing of the H-1B program, some of you may not be familiar with it, but it is such a vital part of our economic model. At a time when Donald Trump is killing the tariffs, is killing the global economy through tariffs, and having goods and services move away from the United States, making the United States uninvestable with global money. The Canadians aren't coming to America. The Europeans aren't either. They're putting their money in Latin America. China is filling the void. And we've got job loss. Goods and services are in decline. Consumer confidence is in the crapper. And now is the time that Donald Trump's going to F with the H-1B program to kill it so that American businesses and subsidiaries of foreign countries don't even bother coming here, don't even bother expanding their businesses, and we get rid of the consumers that are these workers to help our economy. It's just political malpractice. And who's going to suffer because of it? The Americans. I'm going to continue to follow and shine a harsh light and criticism on all things Trump and his economy and unpack it here for you on Legal AF. Take a minute, hit the free subscribe button. And if you want to be a card-carrying member of the Legal AF community, we've got Legal AF, the podcast. You're here on the YouTube channel. Take a receipt, hit the subscribe button. It's for free, no paywall, no corporate media. We don't have to worry about Brendan Carr of the FCC coming down on us, and we won't be cowed by him. And then full-fledged participation, come over to Legal AF, the Substack, get all of our content and data there every day. I do two lives a day where I bring 4,000 people together and we talk about the issues in real time, and then become a paid member, all the better. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.